Bathrooms are one of the most expensive rooms to build and the trickiest to fix. So in today's video, I want to go through some design mistakes that make bathroom look kind of basic and cheap and show you what we could be doing instead. I'll be using floor plans, photos, and visuals to demonstrate how exactly we can achieve this. And it's not about size and budget, because when I ask you to picture a luxurious bathroom, you're probably not imagining one the size of a swimming pool that's covered in gold and marble, but rather you're thinking of a beautiful, elegant space full of amazing details that makes you look forward to sitting on the toilet seat and doom scrolling. I need to show you something that's going to change how you look at bathrooms forever. Are you ready? These two bathrooms are basically identical. Same layout, same fixtures, same vanities, but one looks significantly more expensive than the other, doesn't it? It's this one. The only difference is a strip of dark tile that's running around the lower walls. So why? What's happening? That tile is creating a datum line. A datum line is a horizontal line that divides the room into zones, usually a top half and a bottom half. And when you have this line, your brain reads all of the fixtures at random heights in the bottom half as one visual group. Without that dividing line, every fixture is just floating independently at its own height. Your eyes treat each one as a separate element and bounces around trying to make sense of them. But when you divide the room with a datum line, the room suddenly feels a lot more organized and a lot less random. And once you realize this, you can't unsee it. You can walk into any bathroom and immediately recognize why it might look cohesive, put together, whereas another one looks chaotic and messy. So if you're looking at the bathroom, the fixtures and the furniture do look kind of randomly scattered around and chaotic. Think about how you can create a datum line to visually group the objects together more meaningfully. It could be as simple as adding a tile wainscoting at counter height, or painting the bottom of the room a different color to create a horizontal division. But before you click off to start painting half of your walls, there is an important nuance. Just having a horizontal division isn't enough. It needs to be at a meaningful height where the fixtures can actually relate to it. So if we look at this bathroom here, you can see that there is a horizontal division right where the white tile meets a gray paint, but it doesn't really help. The division created isn't useful because everything is in the bottom zone. So the bottom zone is your work zone with the counter, the sinks, the storage, and the top zone is for decorations like mirror, lighting, pictures, plants. So this is a perfectly functional bathroom, but it does look quite basic, and here's why. Everything is far too small for the space it's in. Big items on walls look intentional and small items look like it was random shopping. So if you want your bathroom to look more luxurious, be sure to scale your items so they do fill up the space. Invest in substantial vanities. If you're doing shelving, span the wall. If the item looks a bit lost and lonely in an empty space, then it's probably a little bit too small. I think it's just generally much better to have fewer items but make them larger. Look at this bathroom. The wall tile grout lines have absolutely no relationship to the floor tile grout lines. And it's not just wall to floor alignment, it's also about how objects sit within the tile grid. Do you see the difference between these two shower niches? It makes me so happy to see this. The niche sits perfectly within the tile grid line. And with the other bathroom, but it's such a lost opportunity. It could be so much better if the shower niche could just sit perfectly within the grout lines of the tile. So I think this is something that wouldn't have cost extra to get it right. It takes a little bit more brain power and planning, but will be very expensive to fix after it's already been built. And when things don't line up, it feels like the project was rushed or no one bothered to get it right. And once you know about this, you'll kind of see it everywhere. The backsplash around the sink, the drain in your shower, how materials transition, and see how these tiles start exactly at the window frame. So before you install your bathroom, please plan out your tile grid. See if you can get the floor tiles and wall tiles to follow the same lines. And when you're adding any sort of niche, furniture, can you size it to the grid? And when your materials change, can you make the transition happen at the tile edge and not partway through one? Have you ever looked at the bathroom and thought, these bits of tile seem so random? You have some partially around the tub, a strip above the sink, some sections here and there. When someone tiles only where water hits and purely for functionality, the result is a patchwork of tiles around the room. The lack of aesthetic consideration shows low effort and low investment, and luxury has always been about going beyond what is necessary. Tiling is so much more than waterproofing, it's also part of the design. So don't just apply tiles around your backsplash and the wet zones, but also think about how it looks aesthetically. Would it be a bit nicer if you can just extend it a little bit across the wall, above the mirror, around the window? You know the type. Shower caddies are always slightly tilted and never quite straight, floating shelves with visible brackets, cabinets installed wherever there was space. If you can, always try to build storage into the architecture. Surface-mounted accessories also break up your beautiful tile work. Every towel bar punches holes through grout lines. Recessed medicine cabinets sit flush with the wall. Alcoves for your bottled products. And if you're going to surface mount something, make sure that the material it's made from is substantial, well finished, and placed at a position that relates to your tile and other fixtures. Before we continue, I want to quickly tell you about Rayon Design, who happens to be today's sponsor and also has become one of my favorite designing tools. Rayon Design is a CAD platform built for interior designers and architects. It's completely web-based, no downloads, no installation drama. You just open it and start designing, which if you ever spent 45 minutes doing a software update before a deadline feels like a miracle. Normally, you're bounced between different programs for drawing, rendering, presentations, schedules, and it's quite exhausting. But Rayon Design brings all of that into one platform. You can import your existing files or start from scratch, create accurate technical drawings, schematic, detailed millwork, and just transform them into client-ready presentations without ever leaving the platform. No more exporting, importing, reformatting. It really is so much more seamless. There's a library of over 10,000 CAD blocks with top, front, side views, and parametric blocks you can adjust in your layout. This is really cool. You can generate custom ones using our AI panel from images or text prompts. Explore different materials and finishes, do transformations that would normally take forever, like converting a section into an axle in literally seconds. And you can apply custom properties to elements in your drawings and automatically generate linked tables for specs, quantities, cost summaries. And because it's cloud-based, your whole team works in real time from the same source. So you never have to wonder if you're working on the latest correct version. If you want to try Rayon Design for free, there's a link in my description. Have fun! In so many bathrooms, there are objects that are not aligned, and there is no reason why they have to be like this. This mirror is slightly off-center from the sink, this toilet is not centered on the wall, and the decor is also off-center. Do you see it? Does it bother you? Join the club and subscribe to my channel. Your brain is incredibly good at detecting symmetry and order, and when things are almost aligned but not quite, it registers as a mistake rather than an intentional choice. It's like when the picture frames on the wall is just slightly wonky by 2 degrees. Now imagine that feeling, and instead of it being pictures, it's the plumbing, the fixtures, things that are really difficult to fix. Look at the difference when we fix the alignment. Isn't it so much better? But obviously there are exceptions to everything. Intentional asymmetry is completely different from accidental misalignment. The mirror in this bathroom is off-center and the vanity isn't centered to the wall, but it works beautifully because it's clearly designed this way. So to make your bathroom look as luxurious and expensive as you can, a sense of symmetry, alignment to all of your objects, both horizontally and vertically, unless you're deliberately going for an asymmetric look. Here's a question. Why do some white tiles make a bathroom feel expensive, while others make it look like a public bathroom? And the answer is texture. We appreciate materials that feel natural and handcrafted. Real stone has variation. Handmade ceramics have irregularities. Even premium manufactured tiles intentionally add micro variations and glaze, light surface relief, subtle color shifts, because they know that perfectly uniform surfaces read as cheap mass production and not quality. So if you want the tiles in your bathroom to look expensive, it doesn't mean you have to source everything to be handmade or very extravagant imported Italian marble. It just means looking for tiles that have subtle texture that catches light, color variation from piece to piece, a matte or honed finish that feels organic rather than super artificial and shiny. The key is just to avoid a completely flat, uniform look. Each tile should not be a perfect photocopy of each other. Okay, this mistake has two extremes and both kind of cheapens the look of your bathroom, even if you spend tons of money on it. Extreme 1, the same material on every surface. You might think that covering every surface in expensive marble would look luxurious, and I'm here to blow your mind because that would be wrong. When you use the same material on every surface, even if it's really expensive, it stops to feel special and starts to feel actually really lazy. The material itself gets devalued because when everything is special, then nothing is special anymore. But the opposite extreme of throwing together a whole bunch of unrelated materials is just as bad. When materials don't relate, your brain tries to find a connecting thread and can't. And that's so chaotic. When you have a bold patterned floor and a patterned wall and a busy countertop in different colors, your eye doesn't know where to look, and the result is visual noise that feels terrible to be in. Luxury interiors use high-end materials strategically. Marble as a feature, a beautiful vanity top, an accent wall, a stunning floor, paired with complementary materials that let it shine. Pair textures thoughtfully. Smooth tile with textured plaster, natural stone with matte paint, wood vanity with stone countertop, and vary the use of patterns. If your floor is busy, keep the rest simple. When you rely on only one overhead light to illuminate your room, it looks cheap because it's a bare minimum you have to do to light up a space. The overhead is either flat and too bright, so it exposes everything like you're in an operating room, or it casts a really strong beam that makes you feel like you're under interrogation. And let's talk about what this does to your face. Overhead lighting casts shadows downward, under your eyes, under your nose, under your chin. And there's so much in the world that makes us actually feel tired. There's no need to also highlight it with terrible lighting. So here's what you can try doing instead. Layer your lighting in multiple ways. Of course, you should have an overhead light, ceiling light, spotlight to actually light up every space when you need it. But you should also have task lighting at a mirror mounted at face height on either side. This eliminates shadows and makes you look as beautiful as you feel. And you can also have accent lighting that creates atmosphere with strips under floating vanities, backlit mirrors, or small spotlights highlighting beautiful artwork or decor. Imagine you step out of the shower, dripping wet, and reach for a towel. Except the towel is on the opposite wall, so you're now walking across the bathroom, leaving a trail of water like some kind of sad, naked snail. Or you're sitting on the toilet and realize the toilet paper holder is mounted so far behind you, you need to do a full torso twist to reach it. Your yoga instructor will be proud, but he probably wouldn't expect this level of dedication from you when sitting on the toilet. When there's no thoughtful placement for the things you use on a daily basis, like towels in the bathtub, toilet paper holder with a tiny shelf for your phone at a convenient height, hooks by the sink, it screams, we didn't think about how people actually use this space. So if you want to have a nice experience in your bathroom, just imagine the routines of everyone who's going to be using that space. Where do you naturally want to put things? Where do you need to grab things? Think about the bathrooms in luxurious hotels or showrooms. Have you ever seen a countertop cluttered with half-used toothpaste tubes and mismatched shampoo bottles? Definitely not. Because messy, everyday items bring too much reality into a space, and luxury likes to keep things clean, aspirational, and very difficult to maintain. Bright-colored bottles from the drugstore, they're designed to grab attention on store shelves and not to look beautiful in a luxurious bathroom. So transfer your products into matching glass or ceramic dispensers. They still work, but now they look good doing it. Use trays to corral products and make them look intentional rather than scattered. Hide the ugly stuff in drawers and cabinets and keep your surfaces minimal. If it's not beautiful, styled, or serving your aesthetic, it doesn't belong out in the open. I mean, do I personally decant my shampoo and body wash into matching glass bottles? No. Do I know it would look better? Unfortunately, yes. Is this practical advice for busy humans? No. But you didn't come here for practical. You came to figure out how to make a bathroom look expensive. So do with that knowledge what you will. Number 12, forgetting about tile trims. If your tile ends with a raw edge and no transition detail, it looks a bit unfinished, and unfortunately, that's going to cheapen the aesthetic of your bathroom. In high-end design, how material comes together matters. So there are two ways to fix this. You can use tile trim. These protective edges made from metal, stone, or ceramic, and obviously match the material and color to the design of your bathroom. Like if all of your fixtures are brass, I wouldn't suddenly introduce like a black or metal trim in there. The other option is to plan so there are no raw edges in your bathroom. If your design intention is minimalism and clean, then you don't need trim, but you do need to execute it carefully. So the mistake is the raw edge itself and not whether you use trim or not. So either cap it intentionally with trim or design it so it doesn't even need to be there in the first place. If you made it this far, you now have the curse of noticing every bathroom mistake that can cheapen the design. Congratulations, there is no cure. But if you do find this interesting, you want to know more, you might want to check out this video right here.